They all high and mighty until they get all, beat up and out of shape and they get old and everything. Now they want you to express your humanity. No, because when you was in your prime and you had your good health on your side, you was exploiting and abusing and misusing people. Now you all bent out of shape and damn near in hospice. Now you want somebody to extend some grace to you. No, a lot of people, they're no contact to the grave. So when you decide to mistreat people, make sure you know who you're mistreating, because some people don't never come back around. They're in no contact to the grave. Meaning, if you get old, they're not coming. You go to the hospital, they're not coming. You go to hospice, they're not coming. They take you to the morgue, you lose your life, whatever. The life insurance check or whatever cleared, they're still not coming. Funeral, they take you and put you into ashes or put you in a coffin. They're not coming. There are some people, they do not play games when it comes to life. So from the grave, all the way to the grave, once they go no contact, they're not coming to baby showers. They're not coming to funerals. They're not coming to mourn your death. They're not coming. The narcissists think that they can leverage their positions in life, their money, sex, whatever they think, their good looks or their charms, because they use enchantment. They think they can enchant, entice, and charm everybody. And once those charms get depleted and they're all out of looks, their body run down. Because let me tell you something about the human body. Once you beat that body down, that if you're a woman, it's dry, and if you're a man, you have erectile dysfunction. So it don't matter, bro. That body get beat down to the ground, okay? And then the looks will fade, especially when you have a lot of vices. Like narcissistic people have a lot of addictions that will fade. So your looks are going to fade along with the addictions. Going to bring that all the way down. And money. The thing about them, they have a poverty spirit. It don't matter how much money they make. They have vices, gambling addictions to prostitutes. They live a double, triple life. So they got to always fly out to different cities and states and countries. So that money will deplete. It will run out. And when you're no good and you're not useful to people, then you'll see how loyal they will be to you. Human beings are only as loyal as what they can get out of you. That go for everybody. So the narcissist, the difference between us and narcissistic people is we can stand on our own too. We can stand on our own. We don't have to have people to survive in life. And whereas with them, they're parasitic. They have
God. I always put that in my head. Like, I have God. God will make a way. I always put it in my head. God will make a way.
One thing about it is we can stand on our own because we are directly tied to a source. We're connected to the source. They don't have no connection to the source. They rely on the elements of this life and then other life forms of this life. They have to rely on elemental manipulation and then the manipulation of other creation like human beings, animals, and so on and so forth. So we're tied to the actual life force itself. God is the life force source itself. So as long as we're tapped into that, we'll be okay. Whereas with them, no. And that manipulation is going to run out. The human body, and the thing about the human body is if not cared for properly, and if you don't steward over your human body properly, it will turn on you. And so they end up with Alzheimer's. You know what I mean? Like that mouthpiece they got, that gift of gab and all of the charming elements to them, it will run out. And then some of them end up with mental illnesses and schizophrenia and delusions of grandeur. Then they started talking about who they used to be, like Franklin Saint from Snowfall. I was the biggest dope man in the 1980s. You're like, what? Bro,
but these people really act crazy. Like some of their behaviors are really like people that are crazy. Like the way they act.
And then they be talking about their heyday. You begging me for $1, and you talking about back in the day in the 1980s, you had the whole block on sold up. And man, look, sir.
Like narcissistic people act really weird.
Yeah. And that's why it's best to not engage with those people. They will go bizarre. They will go far and wide to get your attention. The violations would be through the roof. Criminal, all kinds of stuff. But you have to understand that it is all to get your attention. They're looking for a frequency. They want you to collapse into a fear frequency, a rage frequency. They're always trying to bait you to bring that frequency down. Once you understand that, like I said, let them go. Hey, it's like a pit bull and they take the leash off of it. That thing is going to come after you and attack you with all it got. Okay, do what you got to do. And, you know, the same thing they try to utilize against you, you have to utilize it against them. They try to use the hierarchy of society against you. Once you understand the system and the game of life, you understand what you need to do. Know yourself and know your enemy. And that's life. Know your strengths and weaknesses and know the strengths and weaknesses of your opposition. Minimize your strengths and maximize your minimize your weaknesses and maximize your strengths, and maximize their weaknesses and minimize their strengths. And that comes with not underestimating people. Understand that they're capable of the worst. Once you don't underestimate people and you don't put nothing past these people, then anything that they do, even if it represents the worst of behavior that you could ever imagine, then you're not shocked. You're not knocked off kilter when they do what they do, because they go, when I tell you they go to the depths of hell, these people go to the depths of hell, to the core, wherever fire and wherever how hot it could be down there, they go all the way deep down in there. And they will drag you to hell if you let them. So it is your responsibility to maintain your frequency and understand that it could get very dark when you're dealing with them. So maintain your light and understand that when it comes to the dark, even that is an offering. As long as you don't succumb and can let that darkness consume you, even that will work for you. But they're after your peace and your concentration and your focus.
And God is there to protect you because He sees everything.
Most certainly. And that's when we petition the heavenly courts, because God, this is above me. I am but a mortal person and I'm being tested in this hour. I need your strength. That's why people, you know, the Bible says I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Christ is a representation of ascension. Christ represented an ability to ascend beyond every human emotion, because Christ was persecuted on every level. And his representation was that of a person who embodied overcoming every human condition and every human emotion. So when you find yourself being tested on every level, then you tap into the frequency of Jesus Christ, because that is your ascension. It will allow you to rise above whatever this person is trying to do. And then you pity them, because when God interferes, it's over. God has a very interesting way of humbling people. Somebody said something about the flying monkeys when it comes to the like narcissistic people. Here's the thing. Human beings are fickle. The average human being is fickle. People are addicted to drama in this life, okay? So what does the narcissist offer them? Sometimes they offer favors, like doable favors, and then sometimes they offer them gossip, which is a trauma bond and a superficial way to socialize with others where you don't feel alone in this life. And so, but what happens is that time has a way. It doesn't matter. You can sit here and talk about a person for 5-10 years. If you're not giving me any favors or dopamine hits, I am just as loyal as what you can do for me. That even go for flying monkeys. They can be turned. They can be flipped at any time. If you continue to lock in with yourself and become the highest version of yourself, and you go up the hierarchy of life in this society, and you start to elevate in any way visible, and you graduate in the society, it was once fun to talk about you when you were at a low state. Everybody got a kiki. Everybody was siphoning off of that fictitious bonding. Everybody had a good time. But if you keep pouring into yourself, investing in yourself, and you graduate in life, and it is obvious, we can see the evidence of your graduation and elevation and advancement in life. It is not so fun to sit around and be a flying monkey to a losing narcissist. How is the narcissist losing? Because the narcissist is so hell bent on being obsessed with your life that their life is going downhill by the choices that they're making. So if you pour into yourself and you glowing up on every level, okay, and you're beating the game of life by beating out yourself, because narcissistic people, when they target you, they're trying to get you to come into a competition with them. That's an agreement. When I know that you can't compete where you don't compare, you're copycatting me. You're mirroring me and trying to deathly swap with me. Why would I come down there with you and act like we're competing? I don't care what position you got in life. I don't care what job or how much money you think you got in your bank account. You can't compete with my essence. I have essence. You have stuff that can come and go. You have many fake personalities, fake identities. You got to go in, and every day you have to go in a bag to get a costume. to see what mask you're going to wear today. I get to be authentically me and capitalize off of my authenticity. I don't have to be nobody else. I don't have to think of who I'm going to pretend to be today. That's very taxing on the human soul. So I'm already light years ahead of you. The money comes and go. Money is a current. You can have money today, lose it tomorrow. And you have to consistently manipulate your way into money. That's why they're always scamming, always gambling, whatever they doing. They're always doing something mischievous to get a little bit of change. They do some strange for some change all the time. Whereas with you tap into your authenticity, life will bend to your will, and you'll get places that you didn't even think you were qualified for. Why? Because you are tapped in with God based on your true and natural essence. So everything that they don't want you to be and do and have, you already encompass it. It's just a matter of divine time and catching up with you, and then you'll be in the manifestations of God. The only thing you have to do is ignore these people. They can copycat you, mirror you, try to destiny swap. The only way somebody can destiny swap and slow down your progress is if you acknowledge the value of who they are. If I don't respect you, I don't acknowledge you. You're not valuable to me. I don't care who you are and what you know and how many flying monkeys is with you. I know that these people are only just as loyal to you as you can do them something, as you can do something for them, whether it is grease their palms with a little piece of change, give them sexual favors, or talk their ear off with a little bit of gossip for a moment. That's it. But if they see me bossing up in life, regardless of what you're saying, regardless of how much gossip you're putting in their ear, regardless of how much you're plotting against me, if God still keep making a way for me, eventually they're gonna feel like a loser. Like damn, like we're sitting here talking about this person every day. We're in these group chats every day. We're screenshotting and Snapchatting, whatever hell y'all doing every day. And this person is, the Bible says, dust off your feet and go to the next town. This person is dusting off their feet time and time again, bossing up, going from level to level. The Bible says glory to glory. They're advancing in life. They're unbothered by whatever we're doing. People start to feel like a loser, and they want to get up like you. They like, man, I'm trying to get on her level. I'm trying to get on his level. And before you know it, people who were once hating on you and a part of a hate club, they become a part of a secret fan club of yours. They won't tell that person that they're secretly admiring you, but truth be told, they do. They start to have a level of respect for you. And now your haters became your fans. The hate club became a fan club. Because now they want to talk like you. They want to walk like you. They want to be like you too. Like, dang, like, and then they start to look at this person like, you low-key a loser for real. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, look at your life. Like, you ain't got no stability for real. Like, you don't commit to nothing for real. You talking about this person, but I'm watching the fruits of their labor. The Bible says you will know them by their fruit. You talking about this person every day, but I'm seeing fruit, real live tangible fruit, and the fruit look real juicy, real colorful over there.
But that's to say, like when you said I only acknowledge you because you're important to me. So that means the narcissist, they only acknowledge you because there's something that they admire, low-key admire about you. Yes. That's why they keep talking about you.
Yes. And that's how your haters become, you know, your haters become secret admirers. They came to hate, but they stayed for the love. Like, oh my God, I love her. I kind of, you know, I can see myself within this person. Like, they'll secretly start liking. At first they was withholding engagement. They just came to report back to the narcissist. But if you speaking, let me tell you something, you can deny the real. If you're speaking the real and people can resonate with what you're saying, bro, they start laughing. Don't be funny. Don't be funny, fine, fit, fantastic. Like, don't be multi-hyphenated person. Like, you just got it going on. At first, people will try to hate. But if you keep showing up in life time and time again, first they start, you know, laughing, mocking, putting you down. But after a while, they start laughing. They hit the like button. Ooh, you know, secretly like okay. They'll come under a fake page and everything to engage with you because they feel like, man, this person is cool. And they won't outright support you, but they might come under a fake page and support you because they start to look at this person like, bro, you just a hater. One thing about it is, at first you were working against that smear campaign. It's just words or whatever, and that person wanted to manifest the words in your life. They wanted that to stick to your identity. But once it boomerangs and it doesn't stick, then what happens with these people is they're like, man, like I said, like, this is just words. This person is still outbeating you through the demonstration of life. If you notice anybody who's like high, like I'm talking about real superstars, you don't get back at the critics, the gossip mill, the gossip blogs, and the haters by responding to them. You have to outperform the noise. One thing you can't do is deny the real. And the real is the performance and the delivery of this person, how they're showing up in life. You can talk about them like a dog. And what happens is the person just started just saying, bro, you just a hater. You can't deny this person look good. They're doing well in life. They're thriving. They're conquering themselves. Whereas with you, I'm to be honest, you got to make that narc work. See, when you ignore the narc and you really tap into yourself, if you ignore witches, warlocks, and narcs, and you tap into yourself, well, a warlock is a witch, but if you don't acknowledge these people and you keep tapping into yourself, what happens is you got to make them work to compete, to try to outperform you. You have to do things that they can't take away from you. That means get disgustingly intelligent, because they're very lazy and they're looking for shortcuts in life. You have to get disgustingly intelligent. You have to get in the best shape of your life. You have to really get great communication skills and people skills. You have to really tap into God and really strengthen your relationship with the Most High God and live a holy life, as holy as you can, upright life, a righteous life, so that they can't use you against you. So you have to make them work to compete with you so they can look like they're on the same trajectory as you. Notice what I just said don't really cost money. Getting disgustingly intelligent costs you $0. You don't even have to, you can go to Google. You don't have to really buy no books for real, no real literature, or you can go to the library. You don't need no money to do that. And you can actually check out books and read. Getting in the best shape of your life, it doesn't really cost you no money if you don't want to go to the gym. You can go outside and use actual nature. You can go running, go riding a bike, or, jogging, get your steps in, work out at home, whatever. You don't need no battle ropes. You can use a heavy sheet. I'm serious. Like you don't need money to become the best version of yourself. You can outwork, outbeat, outperform the narc for free. And they can't take that away from you. They can't take your intelligence away from you. They can't take your health and wellness away from you. And they can't take your ability to operate with people in terms of communication and personality. Now, they can get a better car, all of that. Who cares? Nobody cares about that. The car, your body is the car. You know what I mean? Like your body is the car. None of that. They can't compete where they don't compare. You have to outwork these people through discipline.
They're always in a competition. Always.
Yes, but you're going to have to focus on the fruit. You will know them by their fruit. One thing about them, they'll mirror you until it get too hard. Right, damn, can you imagine somebody pop out with a six-pack? Let me just be the person pop out with a six-pack, waist on snatch, face all chiseled up. You talking about them like a dog. Even if the person got $5 in their pocket, they look like $1,000,000. Okay, you sitting up here pop belly. Yeah, you in a Benz, you jump in a Benz, but you got a pop belly. You got breasts on your back. All of that. I'm not dissing that. I'm not saying that we can't get better. All I'm saying is that can you imagine somebody being out of shape and hopping in a Benz, and they talk about somebody that's in shape hopping on a bus or getting on an electric scooter? It doesn't matter what you say. The person in shape is always going to be looked at in a higher regard than you hopping in a Benz out of shape. Same thing with somebody disgustingly intelligent. You could barely talk. You are incoherent, and I don't know what you're saying. You need subtitles just to understand you. And here this person is wrapping circles around you when it comes to communication skills and their delivery. You can't compete. Even if you say, oh, I got multiple degrees. Who cares about the degrees if you don't even understand the knowledge, street knowledge? You don't have no knowledge of self, no street knowledge. You don't have any global cultural knowledge. You're not cultured. You know what I mean? Like, you go out to restaurants, 5-star restaurants, and get chicken tenders and fries. You're not cultured. So who cares if you have the money? You don't have the tenacity. You don't have the intelligence. You don't have the brilliance. You don't have what it takes to even be in the same vein, the same lane, or even in the same perception as this person. They've conquered themselves. Come on now, tell the truth and heal. Prisoners are in shape. You gonna let number 9468945 outrank you in the discipline department.
Like Jem, sometimes even when you're making progress to to improve yourself in life, and just doing things to make yourself happy, or you accomplish certain things, sometimes these narc, they get even more upset when they see that.
But that's the thing. I'm not trying to be funny. Drive it home. If I know that my self-investment, my self-care, and my personal progress is the revenge, I'm going to torture you through self-discipline. I'm just being honest. I'm going to conquer myself because I know.
Because my kid's dad, I just took a vacation 2 weeks to Dominican Republic, and he was going crazy. He was saying so many bad things about me. And I know, and all the things he was saying are lies. And I know what he was saying, that was not the problem. The problem is that he saw me taking that trip.
Yep. Yeah, because he can't control, he can't restrict your movements. You can't place limitations on me. You know what I mean? And then the thing about it is, if I know that a person tried to restrict my movement, I'm gonna be on a plane every month. And I'm only going to post it up when I leave. I've been away from that place 2-3 weeks ago. That happened last month. I'll be posting it 6 months later. You'll never know where I am at any time. But you will see that she's always on a plane. She's always in another city, another state, another country. Yeah. If I know you tried to restrict my movements, I'm getting stamps all on the passport and everything. Because even if you try to compete with that, you're going to exhaust yourself, because the thing of it is not what you do, is how you do it. If I understand what your objective is as it relates to me, I'm just going to do the opposite. And I know that a lot of it was you trying to trick me out of the spot of my own life. You wanted to trick me out of being me. And if I know that all I got to do is be myself and lock in and master self, that's revenge. That's the revenge. They say, oh, the best revenges are paper. No, the best revenge is self-discipline. Once I discipline and master myself, it's game over for you. It's game over. You don't have the tenacity because you have too many vices. The demons have you. When you can conquer your own demons, vices, and strongholds, you can win so much more greater in this life. It's not about them. These people are prisoners of the war within their own mind. It was never about you. They were always creating warfare outside of self to distract them from the warfare within self. It was never about you. So once you understand that and you conquer your own personal demons and shortcomings, these people can't do nothing with you because they are a slave to their own shortcomings. If I don't acknowledge your warfare, because a lot of these people get mad when you're like, well, you're not my enemy or my friend. I don't see you as a peer, period. I will not give you the satisfaction of calling you an opponent or an enemy, because I'm looking at you. You can't even govern your own life out of a wet paper bag, and you think you can conquer mine? No, let me demonstrate to you how you overcome demonic possession and oppression by conquering oneself. They can't do nothing with you. No, I'm gonna tap into myself. I'm gonna ignore you on the outside, and I'm gonna make you face your own mirror, or you're gonna go find you a new victim and stop messing around and playing with me, because this is not what you want. Because I'm going to always go within when you're trying to go without. Like, no, you mess with the wrong somebody. You have to conquer yourself, the enemies and the friends within yourself. You have to really understand the strengths and weaknesses of you. All narcissistic people do, they can either be a catalyst or a mirror to your highs and lows. They are not nobody powerful. Once they understand that, like, you're stuck with yourself. You are the karma of your own life. Look at you. I'm living in my dharma. You're in your karma. You think you can compete with me? Look at your life. Bro, you can't keep blunts out of your hand. Pills. You always in somebody's bed, rolling around in the bed with different strength. Like, how you think you can compete with me? You can't even fast for 2 to 3 days at a time. You don't have no prayer life. You don't meditate. You don't do anything. You're a pleasure seeker. And you think you can compete with me? I can literally starve out any addiction stronghold at will. By the grace of God, I can do that. If I want to stop doing something today, I'll just stop it. Just stop it. And put myself in a state of discomfort for fun. You can't sit in discomfort for fun. You want the pleasures of life. I can sit in discomfort or pleasure. I'm good either way. I can sit in the dark or I can be in some light. I can sit alone or in the company of 1,000 people. Either way, I'm good. You will run yourself mad if you didn't have nobody around you distracting you from the voices in your head. And you think you can compete and conquer me. Come on, man. These people are no match when you understand God and Satan and how it operates in terms of the duality of life. They are no match. And they can go to 1,000 lodges and 1,000 secret society club meetings. They'll never understand it. I promise you they won't. They don't know what's going on in this reality for real. That's why they deal with fictitious gods and fictitious entities and all of that other kind of crap they're trying to evoke. People are slaves to this realm and this reality. They can't do nothing with you. And once you understand that, you will never have to raise your voice when it comes to these people. You will never have to get back at them or seek no revenge. Their life and existence is the revenge. They are the enemy of their own life. They will fall on their own sword time and time again because it was never your warfare anyway. And then you'll get a next test and a next test and another advancement and another graduation. You go to another degree of life, another grade of life until we transition. We graduate from this reality and transition out of the physical state. But it's never been about these people. And that's why they can't stand you, because they know like you are always different. Why you so different? Why you so special? Once you are connected to the direct source of life, these people can't do anything with you. Their job is to trick you out of your spot with God. That's period, point blank. And that is the life force of life. That is the life force. And how they do that is by getting you to come into agreement with trauma. So now you're wounded and now you're operating from a victimized state of life. You can't be a victor and you can't be victorious and be a victim too simultaneously at the same time. You have to understand that there are highs and lows and ebbs and flows in this life. And there are demons and angels in this reality. Dark and light in this reality. And it comes along with the territory. And you don't feel no victimized way about none of it. You're okay with the universal laws of life and how things are. But you have the right to master your human self. That's what this stuff is about. This stuff ain't about nothing else. Yes, kins, we are set apart. Come from among them, be ye separate, that saith the Lord. These people cannot compete where they do not compare. The moment you think that they're competing with you, you've already lost. They can't compete with you. They know they can't. That's why they got to monitor you, watch you, follow the leader and watch you. What Nipsey Hussle say? He said they follow me because they think I know the way. Same people mock you, talk about you, and try to cause you all this trauma, break you, crack you, all of that. When they see that cannot be done because of the grace and the mercy of God as it relates to your life, they look up and they start watching you like, damn, well, how are they surviving the darts? How are they surviving these ambushes? How are these people able to get regeneration from the type of life-altering stuff these entities got me doing? Trying to crack the code on that. Here's the thing about it. The more you're in your own company, in your own energy, and you don't have a whole lot of people defiling your sacred space, the stronger you get, more intelligent you get, the more discipline you get, the more you're able to control yourself at will. You reduce your impulses and your reactions to life. Their deficits are their addiction to, they have an addiction to people. When you're addicted to people, it's hard to govern yourself because you're in all them people's energy. Narcissistic people can't sit alone, so they always have to be around other bodies. So even though they're parasitic and they're siphoning off of other people, they have to always be around a lot of bodies. When you are in the company of multiple people's bodies, it's a lot of energies, highs and low energies that you're in the company of. And when you have all them people surrounded by you, you become a liability to yourself because all that energy is attaching to you. That's why narcissistic people, a lot of them later on, they end up with a lot of mental health problems. They have a lot of mental health problems. They got a lot of voices in their head. They sleep around with so many people. They got so much nasty energy on them from different forces, different entities. It's so much on those people. They have multi attachments on them. to the point where they're not even sacred. They're not in a sacred state. They're in a reprobate state. They're not sacred. Their whole being is defiled. You know, they can't sit alone. And that is a liability to oneself. Every person you encounter in these close and intimate settings, you keep getting all these new bodies, new entities, new energies, new spirits on you. They're plagued with legions of demons on you. Like that man, when Jesus Christ had touched the man and he had to exorcise the possessive legions off that man and put him in the pigs. That man had legions on him. There's such a powerful esoteric understanding of Christ and what it represents. It's mind-blowing. Narcissistic people, legions on them. It'll be one body, a person with one body, but there's so many spirits on those people. That's why there's no need to argue with them or go back and forth. They don't know if they're coming or going. Now, why would you sit there and argue or go back and forth or go to war with a person like that? They don't know who they are. And sometimes they lie so much they believe their lies. When it comes to those smear campaigns, they will actually convince themselves that they're the victim because you wouldn't allow them to abuse you. And the voices in their head tell them, yeah, you were wrong for standing up for yourself. They're sick people. That's the thing with them too. When that jealousy, and that's why I said about hearing voices and kind of being out of it, when they see your life going up, they think it's like they think it's dark manipulation for manifestation purposes. So if they see you come from nothing and then in a short period of time, going back to what Ken said, but we're going to flip it. When you around them and their energy, because they have a poverty spirit on them. They have a poverty spirit. That's why they're scamming. That's why they're always doing something sneaky. That's why they're always doing something strange for change, moving money around, because they don't keep money. They have a poverty spirit. That's the curse of their life. Even if they get money, they don't have it for long. But when they see you leave them with nothing, and in a short period of time, you receive something and you get on your feet, God only release favor because that person isn't around to receive the favor. God sees who they are when you can't see them. God knows what they're doing behind your back when you don't know what they're doing. They live a double and triple life. So when they're in your company, God will give you like rations of blessings, but not to the extent that he wants you to live in terms of abundance. So he will withhold a lot of favor from you. So you'll just be getting by off of kind of like manner and grace and mercy. But when you leave physically, I mean like physically get your body out of there, that's when God will release the blessings and the abundance upon your life. So when they see you again, it will be a short period of time of no connection, and they will see your life going up. As soon as they see your life going up in that short period of time, they think that you're doing witchcraft. It never fails. They believe that you're worshiping because they don't believe that righteousness and holiness will release anything materially to you, because they're spiritually bankrupt. These people live their life in the dark. So they don't believe that there is a God for real. They believe heavily in the dark world, in the underworld, but they don't believe in the divine source of light. They don't believe that you can live in the light and have riches or wealth. They believe that you have to be in the underworld to get wealth. So when they see you get blessings, they believe you did something strange to get it. That's when they start trying to curse you. That's why they try to curse your money, and they come after your social networks and stuff like that, because they think you're doing witchcraft. So when their life go down and your life go up, they think you're doing the craft. So that's when they'll try to petition somebody or, file a request to get somebody to do some work against you to make them go up. But then that person have to do a reading or tap in to try to see illegally what's going on in your life. And they'll find out like, oh, no, this person right here is favored. Sometimes they'll try to find it through birth charts, like, okay, what's their birthday? Or do you have any additional information as it relates to the person, so that they can try to narrow down what houses and everything that is owed to you in this lifetime. And then they'll try to figure it out. And then that person is like, well, can you exchange their wealth for mine? Can you give them my path and let me inherit their path? It don't work like that. Because once I know who I know, then I'm already tapped into that, and Temporarily it may look like it's working. It could look like it. It could look like it. They're getting some superficial favor, but it don't last long. Yep, it's a spiritual destiny swap. It doesn't last long. It's called an exchange of your star. It's a destiny star exchange where they try to exchange your star for theirs. They try to give you a poor man's star and they get an abundant star. But here's the thing. If you don't have the capacity, if your soul does not have the capacity to maintain abundance, you think you're going to have riches forever? Songs of Solomon talked about destiny swapping so greatly. In Songs of Solomon, he said, I looked up and I saw kings on feet like peasants, and I saw peasants on horses like kingsmen. And he was talking about the destiny swap of someone else's star. So that's a star exchange. But here's the thing. Even if you try to force a person to live a poor man's life, the abundance don't stop. If it is in your DNA, I don't know if you guys ever met people where the clothes and where they are in terms of tax bracket, it does not match the disposition of the person. You don't necessarily know who they are, but that person seems like somebody important. Their posture, the demeanor, the way they look, the whole aura exudes prosperity and abundance. But they be working at McDonald's. But you know they shouldn't be working at McDonald's. They shouldn't be working at a car wash. That's embodiment of abundance. It is something on the essence of the person. Somebody in here earlier talked about the energy signature of the individual. Hey, if it is in you and not on you, if they put it on them, like Joseph and his brothers, and try to wear the jacket and wear the coat, it won't last. They don't have the capacity to withhold the abundance. They can't sustain it. Whereas with you, if God give you, how do you know that you're destined for success, abundance, prosperity, and more than enough and overflow? Because when God released something even very small to you, you have the foresight and the gift of ingenuity and innovation. You can take a little bit of something and expand upon it, just like Jesus with the fish and the loaves of bread. He represented the law of expansion, where you can take a little bit of nothing and you can increase it through creativity. That's a gift. Abundance is a gift where you take just a smidget and then you just pull and then it just expands. That's why don't nobody come and help us. That's why we don't have no whole lot of support, because people see what you can do with the little bit, with the micro. You can take a micro and turn it into a macro because of the gift of creativity and ingenuity. You understand? All we need is a little bit of something and we'll turn it into a massive amount of something more. You give me some hot water and some corn and some cornmeal, it's cornbread. I don't need no eggs. I don't need no additional ingredients. 2 ingredients, we're good to go. The law of expansion is upon your life. These people understand that. Once they see that all that destiny swap, all of that star exchange stuff don't work, all of that summoning old ancient deities to come and do some work, bro. Once the lights are on at home, once God awakens you to your soul's mission and you get to tap into who you really are at your soul's core, nobody can do nothing about that. And I'm serious about that. Even witch doctors and practitioners will tell these people, I can't do nothing about this. As a matter of fact, you need to leave this person alone. You don't even know who you're messing with in the spirit. You don't even know who these people are in the spirit. Leave these folks alone. Because what you're trying to make me do, the type of spiritual violation and illegal behavior you're trying to get me to engage in spiritually, will cause me and my whole family to deal with some real unwanted curses. Legitimate ones, legal ones. Spirits will have the legal rights to torture me for 2-3 generations down the line, messing around with you for over $100, $200 across seas somewhere. Nobody got time to play with you. Leave that person alone. They have a soul's mission, and there's nothing that you can do to interfere with it. They have to do their job until the job is done. The type of stuff you're messing around with, the protocol that you're messing around with is higher than even witch doctors and practitioners could even override. And if they're really good at what they do, they will tell you that. I can't do that. Sorry. The blowback is too deep. The blowback is the fire is going to burn the whole thing down. And then that's when the person gets desperate. They go from place to place. And before you know it, When it does start to backfire, that person can put it back on that person. They send it back on them, funnel it right back to them so it can ricochet off them. These people are not stupid. There are laws when it comes to the spiritual laws of life. I don't care who they are. Period. These people don't know you. They don't know nothing about you. They don't know God and they don't know you. And they don't even be knowing the stuff that they're summoning either. Because there's spiritual laws to those things that they're summoning. You going messing with some old sleeping giants and stuff like that. Fallen angels from back in the day. You're going all the way 3,000 years ago trying to awaken old entities and stuff, giving them all these false and big massive promises. You don't know what you're messing around with. Digging stuff up from the dead. Leave folks alone. And if you do not deliver, you just wrote a check that you cannot cash. But you look, these spirits, they going away with something. What Denzel say? I'm leaving here with something. You promised me something. I'm leaving here with something. And you be sitting up there like the shadow man. Friends turning enemies. Tell me you got friends on the other side. If you don't deliver, spirits don't have no loyalty. You promised something, you didn't deliver. You're food, son. People not going to play around with you. These things are not humans. You promised me something and you're not delivering. Feasting on you. And you going to go by hook or by crook. As the old people say, by choice or by force. Not going to play around with you. And that's on you, because you had no business messing with that stuff. For what? Because you don't want your own path? Please. You'll collapse the next lifetime. Hopefully you make it through the next lifetime. Maybe you'll pass the next life cycle. Who knows? Who cares? It's all praises to the Most High. Hallelujah. Glory be to God.
When you have a habit of attacking people unjustly, something will happen to put you to sit down. And he's in jail for no cause by me, but at the end of the day, as you said, like, they do have to cash that check. And a lot of people cannot pay for all the work that they be doing. And the payment has to come somehow. So I just wanted to, confirm what you're saying and just let you know that, all of these things resonate with me deeply because I've experienced this time and time again because people see me as, I guess an easy target. They see me as like very light energy and they try to pull me down to a certain density. And that's why, even when we talk about Blueface, when he's having kids with these people, it's to pull them down to a density. It don't got nothing to do with reproducing and bringing love into the world. It's to steal their focus. And if somebody's able to take your focus away from you, you're not able to create the life that you deserve for yourself. So that's all destiny swapping is. And I made a video about it this morning because all it is really is them traumatizing you enough or causing you to be depressed enough to distract you from the things that you're supposed to be doing for real. That's all that they can do. They can't get in the way of what. And so somebody asked me, how can I get my energy back? And it's like, of course it's yours. So when I detach myself from the people who are draining from me, I kind of trace my steps back to the things that I left. So I didn't graduate from college because I was dealing with this guy. I went back and I got my degree. Whenever I can't focus on my hobbies, fitness and all of these things. And I realized I was focusing on certain people. I go back to the things that I left in order to have these people in my life. And then I find that, abundance comes to me. And I don't want to say nothing, but at this point, like, it is in the form of monetary compensation for the things that I experienced. So you do have to detach from these people and you do have to retrace your steps in order to call your energy back, or else, you're going to be living the life and that's what destiny swapping is. You'll be living the life that they want for you and that they can't ascend from. And that's, all I wanted to share.
Yes, I want to say this before you leave. I want to thank you so much for what you just said right here. What you just said was the nugget of the entire live for today. Retracing your steps. That is the entire nugget and the key for the whole live. Whatever it is that you put down, go pick it back up. So like she said, your fitness, whatever your profession was, because they will attack you so that you will put down your business. They get you fired from certain jobs and certain fields. your health and your wellness. Because if you're dealing with warfare and you're being psychologically tortured, you're being emotionally tortured, you're being spiritually tortured, it's hard for you to concentrate and focus on your day-to-day affairs, especially stuff like your health, your wellness, taking care of your hair, your nails, your skincare, your monetary aspect of life, all of that. They force you into survival mode. So where you're at the bare minimum now, you can't really self-invest. And that's how you start to lose things. And that's why they start manifesting the poverty spirit on you and misfortune. And you collapse into misfortune. But like she said, once you peep, the stuff that they are attacking is your mental. They want your peace of mind so you can't do anything else. Because from out of the mind, all things flow. Thoughts become things. So if I attack your mental, which I call that mental magic, if I attack your mental, you're going to collapse into a state of misfortune, because now you're going to be hyper vigilant. Your nervous system is a wreck and you're looking around you, you're paranoid and all kinds of stuff. So that's why it looked like it's hitting you. You're like, oh, they're attacking every part of my life. No, they attack your whole nervous system. When they hit you, it's just like any computer. When that virus hit it, everything shut down. But it doesn't mean that whole entire system is no good. You can actually flush the virus out of that system, hardwire it, and get that system back going again. But like she said, you have to go back and retrace your steps. Whatever you put down, go back and pick it up.